Hello, everyone. I'm back again. This is the third time. Um, there was some technical fault, but the good news is I have been able to resolve the issue. So I'm back with a brand new class. If you haven't liked our Facebook page, just type in Fyruz Education Services, and that's it. We have a lot of free courses, like business studies, accounting, and live classes are posted every week, so you don't want to miss that chance. It's not like mini courses, it's proper lectures. So you want to take opportunity of those because these are free. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just type in Fyrus Education Services. We have around 40 videos. So yeah. So let's wait for some students to join and then we'll start. We had a lot of students in the beginning, but we had some problem. And then let's wait and then we should start very soon. Okay, so we have some viewers. Let's go ahead. So the picture that you see, um, so this is a chef. Okay, so I'd like you to introduce you to a new person. He's Mr. Peter, and he works in a five-star hotel and restaurant, and he's been working for a long time. For 5 6 years, and he gets paid well. His meals and everything is quite delicious, and since he's a chef, his I mean the salary that he gets is a lot. Because if you're a chef in Western countries, the pay is quite good. The pay is quite well, and he is very organized in keeping his accounts, in keeping his books. He gets monthly. If you look at the screen, he gets monthly around 4,300 pounds, and for the money that he earns, he always make a budget. Okay, he makes a budget, and that's a good thing. And every one of us, we have a monthly budget, right? Okay, this month my income is going to be 40,000 taka, and I'm going to spend 20,000 taka, and the rest 20 or the rest 30 will be savings. Similarly, his actual income is 4,300 pounds. What he expected was 4,600, but 4,300 is is his actual monthly income. um so um there we go. 4,300 pounds is his income, and these are his cost. So he pays his rent, he pays his phone bills, electricity bills, um, petrol, water, cable bills. There's so many bills that he has, and there you go. These are his costs, projected costs. Let me tell you, these are his projected cost. This is his budget. Okay, the actual costs are given here, and the actual cost may vary from the projected cost. Mortgage or rent may be 1,000. Phone maybe, he forecasted that uh, it would be 54 pounds, but then the actual cost was 100 pounds, right? So it may be different, right? So his actual income is 4,300 pounds. His budget is this, the actual cost is this, and then you can find out the difference. If the difference is a lot, that means your budget was not good. You're not good at budgeting. If the difference is less, that means you're quite good. For example, the difference the difference here the difference here is 46 pounds. So that's a lot. 46 pounds is a lot. So there you go. So that means something is wrong here. So you have to be careful when you're doing budgeting next time, right? Um, but here in this case, water and sewer, he projected that it was 8 pounds, and the actual cost is 8 pounds. So this is quite good. So when you're budgeting, you have to make sure that you are near to the actual amount. If there's a huge difference, then it may cause problems. All right. So please be careful of that. Sorry, I was just trying to close my Facebook window. So yeah. So Mr. Peter, there you go. He is Mr. Peter. His salary, he expected 4,600, but he received 4,300. This is his budget, okay? And the actual cost when he paid was this, right? Most of them was quite near, right? But some of the budget was it went up. For example, phone bill was 54 pounds, but he ended up paying 100 pounds. Probably he made a lot of international calls. Probably he spent more than he was supposed to. Electricity, 44 pounds, but then the actual cost was 56 pounds. But with electricity, we know that the cost may differ a little bit because it depends on the usage. So your budget also needs to be a bit flexible. You need to keep that in mind that when you're budgeting, uh, the costs may vary, but there cannot be a lot of difference, because if there's a lot of difference, then it's a big problem, right? So this is the budget. This is the budget of Mr. Peter. And if you see his actual budget and the projected cost, there was not much of a difference. There was 41 pounds difference. His budget and actual cost, the difference was 41 pounds. It's good in a way. It's not bad at all, right? So a budget is something that you make in advance. It is not forecasting. Forecasting means you're predicting. Okay, budget means how much money do you have to establish something, to create something. Let's say I have $1,000 to make this phone. Okay, that's a budget. Let's say I have 100 taka to make this glass. So that's a budget. Budget is a financial plan, a financial limit that is there to guide you to make a product or to make a payment. So that is a budget. It's not a forecast. It's not a prediction. It is an amount allocated to you. Okay, this is the amount allocated to you, right? Okay, and budgets are based on the objective of the business. Now, if a business wants to spend a lot, the budget will be higher. If the business wants to spend less, the budget will be less. Okay, so there we go. Just give me a minute. Okay. So yeah, just give me a minute. So yes, yeah, there we go. And and the budget helps you to think ahead, to plan ahead. And sometimes it's based on 12 months, sometimes it's based daily, sometimes it's based weekly. Okay, but budget is good because it gives you a warning, it gives you a sign, it helps you to plan ahead. And you have daily budgets. In some companies they make daily budgets. Sometimes you have weekly budgets, you have fortnightly budgets. Fortnightly means every 2 weeks. You have monthly budget, you have yearly budget. Okay, in my household, we do budgets per month, but in your household it may be different. Similar with companies. Okay, most of the companies, they have an annual budget, but they may also have a monthly budget, and they may also have a daily budget. So budgets can be of different kinds. So yeah, so think about a small company like this on the left. Okay, a small company like this, where two friends start a company together at their house. They will also have a budget. Okay, think about let's say a cafe like this. Let's a family style cafe. A family style cafe will also have a budget. It's a medium sized business. And think about a massive business like Google. They will also have a budget. Okay, and their budget may be very complex because they're so big, they're huge. They have, I don't know, they have probably 90, 100 locations. Okay, and it is going to be complex. So budget is required in all stages of business. It can be a small business, it can be a big business, it can be a medium sized business. You can have an individual budget. So budget can be at all stages of the business, right? So, yeah. So we've talked about this already, but budget. After all, it helps you to avoid problems. When you have a budget, it's good. For example, let's say during Eid, you have a budget, right? Okay, my budget is 5,000 taka, and within that, I'm going to buy a nice Punjabi for myself, or within that, I'm going to buy a very nice gift for my mother, or for my wife, or for my friend. Okay, because if you exceed that 5,000 budget, you may have a problem, because you just don't have to buy you just don't. I mean, you have so many things to do. It's not just a gift. You have to pay your rent, you have to pay your phone bills. You may have to, I don't know, make a product. You may have to pay wages, salaries. And this is why you need a budget. For everything you need a budget, because there's so many things to do, and money is not unlimited. Everybody has a limited amount of money, even the richest person, right? Therefore, budgets are so important. Okay, sorry about the technical glitch in the beginning. There was too many things happening today. It's because of technology, and my attention may have diverted a little bit, but now I'm back in the game. So let's have a look at the uses of budget. The first purpose of budget is that it helps to control and monitor. If you look at Mr. Peter's budget, that his budget was 54 pounds, but then he ended up spending 100 pounds. So that will help him to monitor. Okay, my budget was 54 pounds, but I spent 100 pounds, and will also help him to control that. Okay, I've overspent, and I should not overspend it in the next month or in the next few months. Okay, so it helps you to monitor and control. Okay, control and monitor. Okay, and you, of course, you will have a set objectives. You'll have targets. You will achieve those targets. You will analyze what went wrong, what went right, what should you do, what shouldn't do. Uh, so there we go. If you look at Mr. Peter's budget, you can clearly look at what went right, what went wrong, what was the actual difference, how much money you've ended up saving in your bank account. Okay, so it helps you to give. It gives you a clear picture, and that's really good. Okay. Um, so yeah, the first purpose is control and monitoring. The second is, of course, it helps you to plan ahead. It helps the managers to think ahead, that, okay, these are the five things that I need to do. And this much money, this is the amount of money that's available for me to spend. Again, if you look at Mr. Peter's budget, here is Mr. Peter. If you look at his budget, he's made a list that I have to pay rent, I have to pay phone, I have to pay electricity bill, I have to pay for my petrol, water, cable. So he's listed down. It helps him to think ahead. It helps him to plan ahead. Okay, so because there may be one or two things that you may have in the future to pay. So if you make a budget 1 month early or 2 months early, it helps you to think ahead. Okay, it also helps you to coordinate activities, because a business or an individual like Mr. Peter may have so many things, 6 7 things to pay. So it helps you to coordinate. Okay, today I'm going to pay my rent, tomorrow this, I also have to do this, I also have to do that. And it also helps you to prioritize activities amongst amongst this list. I think rent or mortgage is the most important payment that you should make. Okay, so I would release this payment first, and this is my first priority. Then I think electricity, water, and then comes phone, petrol, all those stuff. So it helps you to, of course, plan ahead. It helps you to coordinate different kinds of activities, and it helps you to prioritize. Now, I was just looking at Mr. Peters' budget, but then think about really big companies like Microsoft. Now, this is a picture of Xbox, Microsoft Xbox, and this has been in the news for a very long time. So think about a big company like Microsoft. Microsoft is in 150 locations, and each location may have a separate budget. So a budget can be very complex for big businesses like Microsoft, and they are in 93 countries. 93 countries, not one, not two, 93 countries. So think about that, right? Um, so, so yes. So if you have a budget, it'll help you to coordinate different kinds of activities, right? Um, and okay, let's. This is a picture of me sitting in front of my university. Yes, I went to University of Leicester. This picture was taken probably in 2017. I just went there to visit. As you can see in this picture, yes, I look happy and very amused. But as you can see, I'm wearing a nice blue jeans. I really like to wear jeans. Jeans and a white or a black t-shirt is my style. Classic. You can never go wrong with that. And this blue jeans, I bought it from Levi's. Okay, now Levi's is a jeans company that has been there for the longest time, and they were established in 1853, and they have 2,800 stores. Now think about the budget that they have to make for each and every store. So budget is also complex, especially for big businesses like Levi's and Microsoft. Okay. So if you make a budget, it helps you to solve those complex problems because for 2,800 stores, you may have to do so many things, right? So think about that. Now, the other purpose of budget is communicate. It tells the workforce that these are the things that we need to do. This is the amount, this is the budget. It gives them a clear framework because in a business, you do not want to deal with uncertainty because in businesses, uncertain situations happen all the time. Okay, there may be a situation like COVID, there may be a situation like recession, and you have to make quick decisions. So if you have a budget, uh, it helps you to plan ahead, and you have a clear framework in front of you. Again, think about Mr. Peters' budget. He had a clear framework that these are the 8 things that I need to pay. These are the budget, projected cost. Yes, it may differ, but it has a clear framework in front of you. And then you can prioritize which to pay first and which to pay later. And everything can be kept under control. And then you have efficiency. Okay. It also creates an efficiency workforce. Because, see, if I'm a manager of a company, I cannot run after every employee. In a large business like Microsoft or like Levi's, where you have 2,800 stores, 150 locations in 93 countries, it's not possible. So if you have a budget that this is the guideline that you have to follow, then you don't have to communicate. You will have an efficiency workforce, and they will do it on their own, right? Okay. So it creates efficiency, and the last but not the least, it'll create a motivated workforce. Okay, because they know that they have a target, they have to chase something. And when you have a target, and most importantly, when you have a challenge, everyone is motivated. When I have a challenge that is difficult to reach, if I have a very high benchmark or a yardstick to cross, I'm very motivated. Okay, because everybody has a fear of failing, and you're motivated to work hard, right? Uh, so these are the purposes of budget. Okay, the first purpose is control and monitoring. The second purpose is planning ahead, coordinating different kinds of activities. The fourth purpose is communication. The fifth purpose is efficiency. The sixth purpose is motivation. So there are six uses of budget, or six purposes of budget: monitoring and control, planning, coordination, efficiency, motivation. Okay, great. If you have any problems, please do not hesitate um, to comment down on the comment section, and I'll take your questions. We're almost done. So let's go ahead. So there are two types of budget. Okay, sales budget and production cost budget, and we will have a look at it. And budget means, like sales forecasting, you are based on past data. Now, if I make a budget of my phone bill, that okay, how much do I have to pay next month for my phone bill? What I'll do is I will look at the records of last month. Okay, last month my bill was, or my phone bill was 2000 taka. So next month also it can be 2000 or around 2000. That's how you make budget. You look at past historical data and you make an extrapolation of data. And that's how you do it. Okay. Now let's have a look at the two kinds of budget, or the two types of budget. We'll have a look at it. Okay. So the two types of budget are sales budget and production cost budget, of course. And there are different kinds of budget here. You may have sales volume, sales revenue, marketing budget, R&D budget, all those things. Okay. Now let's have a look at sales volume budget. Sales volume. Now, when you think about volume, means number of units. Whenever you think about volume, it's number of units. Sales volume. How many units you want to sell? This. Let's say how many units of phone you want to sell. These are four different products: 8023, 8024, AE12, AE13. These are different products. Okay. And there we go. So in February it's 100, March 100, April 100, May 100. This is how it moves. So sales volume budget. Volume means number of units. How many number of units you're projected to sell. It's not money, it's unit. How many units? Okay. And then we have a sales revenue budget. Means how much money is expected. Okay. Now, if you have a look, 12 is the unit. 12 is the money. If you look here, the prices for 8023, 8024, A12, and A13 are 12, 20, 25 pounds, 30 pounds respectively. So you take 12 pounds into 100 units, and then you get this figure. Okay. And that's how it happens for everything. 20 is the money, and 50 is the unit. Okay. And that's how you get this figure. Okay. So that's a sales revenue budget. Okay. You take the rate and multiply by units. 1200, 1000, 1900. Okay. And these are the workings. This is how you got it. Okay. There we go. So that is a sales revenue budget. Okay. Let me show you an example of a production budget. For example, this is cost of materials for February. When you buy things, you may have $660. Okay. Direct labor cost, and this is the working, of course, marked in blue. Direct labor cost is 880, and this is the working, 4 pounds per unit into 220. Okay. 220 is the number of units. You have, again, indirect costs. Okay. Again, the working. So there we go. That's how it goes on. Okay. So so I have showed you different kinds of budget. I've showed you sales volume unit. Okay. Sales volume deals with number of units. Okay. How many units? Sales revenue is, of course, money. You will have a rate. 12 pounds is your rate, and 100 is the unit, and that's how you got 1200. Okay. And I've also showed you a production cost budget where you'll have different kinds of expenses. Cost of materials, this is the working. Direct labor, again, this is the working. 4 pounds into 220, this is the rate. This is the number of unit. Indirect labor cost, there we go, working again. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to comment down on the comment section. We're almost there. Okay. Now let's talk about a very interesting topic, and that's zero-based budgeting. Okay, now budget is always made based on past data, historical data. Now, if I want to make a budget of my phone bill, I will look at how much I've paid last month. Last month means September. And then I will make a forecast of the next month. That's how budget is made. But then it is always not possible. It is always not possible to come up with a budget. Think about, let's say you're making a brochure or a leaflet. Now, let's say you're making brochure for your company. Now you can make a brochure which can cost you 2 taka per unit. You can also make a brochure which can be 10 taka per unit. Okay. And the cost may differ depending on the number of units ordered. Now if you order more, then the price will be less. It's economies of scale. If you order less, then the price will be more. So sometimes what I'm trying to say is it is difficult to determine the price of some things. Like marketing is very difficult. You can make an advertisement using $100,000. You can make an ad using a budget of $1 million. You can also make that similar kind of ad with $1,000. Yes, it is possible. So sometimes budgeting for everything does not work, and we've taken an example of a brochure. Sometimes it's not possible. So when it's not possible, what you do is you don't allocate any money. Okay. So I don't know my marketing budget. Let's assume that we don't know marketing costs, so we will not allocate any money for marketing. Okay. We will simply just not allocate. That's it. But then what is going to happen? I'll tell you what is going to happen. So we're not going to allocate any money. We will take it as we go. We will spend as we discover things. Okay. It's just that you have to be sure. If you look at this line, you have to make sure when you spend something, it should it should add to your company. It should be beneficial to company. Let's say if you're spending $100 on marketing, make sure it is beneficial to the company. So if you cannot justify the budget of your of marketing, do not allocate any cost. And when you do not allocate any cost, it's called zero based budgeting or zero budgeting. So how does it happen? It happens is that you do not allocate any money. Okay, you will take it as you go, right? So one of the main advantages of zero based budgeting is that the allocation of resources is improved because you're looking at things when you're doing it. Okay, I need this, I need that. So you're more careful. Okay, and a questioning attitude is developed. Do I need this or do I not need this? Right. And you try to reduce unnecessary cost. Okay, instead of making brochure an expensive brochure, since I don't have any budget, let's minimize the cost. And staff motivation may improve. That's the third benefit, because a staff will constantly evaluate, go to suppliers, talk about the brochures, how can they reduce cost, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, and that will increase the motivation level of the staff. And of course, it encourages managers to look for alternatives. For example, let's say you don't have a marketing budget, and you need to print some brochures. And let's say the supplier will give you two options. Either you can make 2 taka per unit, which is of low quality, or you can make 10 taka per unit, which is of very high quality. So you have options. And if you want to save cost, of course, you will go with a cheaper option, right? So think about that. Okay. So these are the four advantages of zero-based budgeting. Allocation of resources is improved because you look at different things and take decisions. A questioning attitude is developed. You're constantly questioning yourself, that is it right, is it wrong, do I need this or do I need that? Okay, and you try to reduce cost. Staff motivation is increased. There's an elevation of staff motivation because you're constantly analyzing things, okay, and that keeps you involved. Always remember, when workers are busy, when employees are busy, it increases the staff it increases their motivation, right? When you have less work, that decreases your motivation. So yeah, and it encourages managers to look for alternatives because you don't have a budget and you want to look for different options and reduce cost. However, there are some disadvantages. uh, Zero-based budgeting, it's time consuming because you need to collect the data, you need to analyze it, you need to make decisions, and not everybody can make zero-based budgeting because you need skillful managers. Okay, you need skilled employees. So not everybody will be able to make zero-based budgeting. And then the third reason is sometimes managers may not be able to justify on certain cost. That okay, why are you spending $10 on this item? Sometimes it may not be possible. Okay, so these are the problems of zero-based budgeting. Three problems: time consuming, because you have to spend a lot of time. It's very detailed, a lot of information. And in order to create zero-based budgeting, you need skilled managers, skilled accountants, or skilled employees, and that may not be available in your company or institution, or small companies may not be able to afford them. So think about that. And managers may not be prepared to justify on certain costs. They may not have a good reason to spend certain amount of money. So today we are done with the class, which is great. It's 12:20. Um, yeah, we have a message, and I want to take that. Yeah, there we go. So today we've talked about zero-based budgeting, advantages and disadvantages, right? I've showed you a production budget, how it happens. This is a budget, and this may differ. Okay, 660 থেকে 680 হতে পারে। যত কম ডিফারেন্স হবে তত ভালো। Okay, there we go. This is an example of a revenue budget. You will have a rate and number of units, and this is an example of a sales volume budget. It's sales volume. Whenever you hear the term volume means number of units. There's no money involved. Okay, and then we've talked about the two types of budget: sales budget and production cost budget. I've showed you that, and we've talked about the 5 or 6 purposes of budget. Great. If you haven't liked our Facebook page, come on, like it right now. We have lots of videos coming up. I will finish this chapter tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube page, subscribe it right now. We have lots of free videos. Thank you very much for bearing with me. We had a technical fault. I apologize. That's the problem with technology, but I hope you enjoyed my class. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to comment down on the comment section. For now, I will bid you goodbye. I will see you in the next one. Have a good night.